Leon, the pig farmer, is at the 2024 World Pork Expo on assignment for Swine Web. I'm with Kevin Braden with Hog Slat, but also he's got Grow Disc. And Kevin, explain to me and my listeners, what is Grow Disc?
Okay, I'll start off. Thank you, Leon. Grow Disc is a very economical, versatile feed system that allows you to feed basically any building that you have: breeding, gestation, farrowing, nursery, as well as finishing. It's a very simple system. It has fewer motors, so you have lower maintenance costs, and it also has a very simple system with parts and components that have been worked through over the process of development of this product for a long time, and they're long lasting and very low maintenance. Obviously, if it's only 2 motors, that's about half the motors that a normal flex flow system has, so it's less maintenance on the motors. I'd like to talk to you in depth about each component of the Grow Disc system. We'll start out with the fill hopper. The fill hopper is stainless steel construction. It's got a 7.2 by 7.2 opening with our flex auger that comes in and fills the fill hopper. Also, this door has a grate on top of it to keep foreign matter or fat balls from getting into the system. And also, we catch a lot of bucket elevator parts, things like that are caught with this grate that's on the top side of the fill hopper. So it keeps foreign matter out of the system. Next, we'll talk about the different type of tubing. We have PVC tubing. Clear gives you visibility of where the feed's at in the system. We also have solid PVC tubing. I would tell you both of those systems or products work well for a shorter system, but our standard is the 18 gauge chain disc feed pipe, and that's probably 95% of what we put in on new systems. The steel tubing will not wear out. It's really a good product. You know, depending on the clear and the white pipe, shorter systems, it has its advantages as well because it can price in a little bit cheaper.
But the clear does give you the opportunity that you do a quick check. You can see the system versus the plastic or the steel. It's good for the long runs in there, but maybe your key points coming in, I can see what's coming in, that it's coming in at the proper flow.
So a lot of times we'll do just like this, put the clear tube between 2 corners, and so then you have that visual. You know, our corner also allows you to have some visibility as well. So then we'll talk about the chain. This chain is hardened steel. So with that new chain that we're manufacturing in North Carolina, there's very limited stretching. So once you get the system up and running, you don't have to adjust it. A lot of the earlier systems, they had the disc molded in full plastic, and so they would grow on you. Well, we've kind of taken that out of the equation, and it's no longer a problem. Also, the disc is molded to the chain, and it's universal. It's multi-directional, so there's not a correct way to put it in. You can put it in forwards or backwards, and it doesn't matter because it's multi-directional. So that's another improvement we made. The nylon disc, we gnarl the insides of the chain, and it's molded to that chain, and it keeps the chain from sliding off keeps the disc from sliding off the chain, and that's another great improvement. So our chain, you know, obviously I work for Hog Slat, but I feel like it's the best on the market from all the different systems that were developed into where we are today. Next, we'll talk about our corner. This is no doubt the best corner on the market. So it's basically rugged, poly constructed. There's a sealed gasket in here. It's got encapsulated bearing, and the actual cast wheel is self-cleaning. You can kind of see how it sweeps here. So that pushes the feed to the outside of the corner and pushes it back into the feed line to let it continue to go down the system. It's also universal in that it's not directional. It'll go either way. Some of the earlier ones out on the market, you had to put it in up or down. This one's universal. It can go either way. The clear, easy clean corner. So we had customers come to us and say, man, we really need a way to clean this chain disc out. So this was our answer. Typical system, 4 to 8 corners. You open this door, it opens up, and you can clean the system out at all the corners. Put a bucket underneath it, it'll drain the system. So, you know, this corner has been a really, really good seller for Hog Slat, and It's rugged, it's long lasting, and hasn't given us any problems. So after the corner, we'll talk about the actual drive unit. This is also all stainless steel construction. It has a 1.5 horsepower feed motor, and we've went to a little bit longer stroke of the system that controls the idler pulley. And so what that allows us to do is run a longer system. So this system will max out at 1,800 linear feet, and that's effective feet now. So each corner we consider that 25 feet. But if you think about it, in a normal system, if you had 400-foot flex augers, that's 1,600 foot of flex, and that's running 5 feed motors. Well, now with this system, you're running 2 feed motors. So it's a really, and if you start thinking about running copper wire to all 4 or 5 of those motors, if you look at it in totality, it's actually cheaper to put chain disc in, even though apples to apples, the parts of chain disc are a little bit higher. But if you think about the electrical part of it and running the copper to each motor, it saves you money by going with grow disc. Our clear door, you can see everything that's going on inside it. We have 2 kill switches. One, this is if it overamps or gets foreign matter in, this trips this will move forward and trip that motor. If you open the door while it's running, it'll also kill it. So we got 2 control switches, that safety switches, if you will. Next, we have this grow disc control. This controls the feed system. We can do continuous feeding, or we can do time feeding. You know, either application, if you're in a farrowing where you want to do continuous feeding and feed them multiple throughout the day, you can do that. Finisher, continuous feeding, or time feeding at a gestation. It has the ability and output to raise and lower the sow drops. It's a very good controller. It's an easy controller. It's just a touch screen, 7-inch touch screen. Very user-friendly, Windows-based. You can go back and forth from English to Spanish. So, you know, it's a really good system. Has a sealed gasket around the door. So drip-proof. Obviously, you don't want to hit it with a pressure washer, but it's a very good controller. Very simple to program. And
it's one that the caretaker needs to be there to control it. It's not done remote yet.
It's what?
It's not done remotely with
no. You set it up, and you do have to be there.
Okay.
It doesn't have the ability to tie to the internet today.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Alrighty.
I'll just wrap up. You know, this is a great system. We're installing a tremendous amount of them right now. As cable bay is no longer offered in the swine industry, we're replacing cable bay with the Hog Slat grow disc. It's a very economical replacement for that. And we're using it on a tremendous amount of new builds as well. When I talked about the number of motors and the wiring of those motors, it prices in finishers and nurseries as well.
I've been with Kevin Braden with the grow disc at Hog Slat. This is Leon the pig farmer at the World Pork Expo on assignment for Swine Web. Thank you, Kevin.